In the world of wrestling, strength isn't just measured by muscle, but by endurance, agility, and the will to power through. Picture the titans of the ring, dashing with ferocity, their every step shaking the ground beneath them. They're not just athletes, they're warriors in a modern-day coliseum, engaging in an eternal dance of tactics and sheer might. Running the ropes isn't just about speed. It's a game of strategy, a test of fortitude. Picture the electricity that fills the air as they bounce back, ready to make their move. It's a dance, a performance, a battle. In wrestling, every moment counts. Every step, every bounce, every breath is part of something bigger. It's not just a sport, it's a spectacle. It's a world where heroes are made, where legends are born. This is the world of wrestling. This is Running the Ropes. What's going on, everybody? Man, I'm telling you. So this is DJ, otherwise known as the New Era Wise Man, bringing forth a new podcast. This one is called Running the Ropes. And I am excited to share this with everybody. Everyone knows, or at least I hope everyone knows, that listen to my old podcasts, that I am a huge wrestling fan. Absolutely love from indies all the way up to modern promotions. And we're going to discuss a whole lot of that on this show as it goes forward. This format is going to be a little bit differently. This is just the introductory episode. We'll get into the weeklies and rumors and all that as we go in. But as the intro video showed, we are presented by Downtime in the Ring. And of course, a Downtime in the Ring promotion wouldn't be right if we didn't kick it off with the man himself. Here he is.
Hello.
Downtime in the Ring co-founder, Donovan Bear Cage. What's up, my friend?
What's up? What's going on? Hello.
Man,
I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here, honestly. I'm happy that you have a show again. I'm happy to work with you again. I am happy that we get to push DTitR as much as we possibly can because we need it. I'm very excited for, to talk about wrestling.
Absolutely. So we've known each other for a long time now, ever since I poached you from T-Mobile. And we started working together. And one of the common bonds was wrestling. And absolutely loved discussing it with you. And here we are all these years later. And we have podcasts dedicated to sports entertainment. But I really would like for you to talk about Downtime in the Ring, how it came about, what it's all about, and what we could see from Downtime in the Ring.
So what Downtime in the Ring is. So essentially I had another podcast I had called Frame Rates and Face Locks. And at the time, the co-host then kind of ghosted me. And so I had to go off and I was like, I don't want to end this, but I can't do it on my own. I had recently left a busier job. So I had a lot more time. And so I was like, give me 1 second. Bro, what are you doing? So I had to leave the job, or I left the job. I had more time and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this on my own. So essentially I still have the archived episodes, of my first couple of podcasts going solo, and the entire time, and I used Downtime in the Ring. So I've come up with the name, I've used the name. Going into that, I had Eric Adamia was my first ever uh, interview a year ago, a little over a year ago. I just hit my year mark, which was fun. I had four or five by myself before I asked Chris, my stepbrother, to come on. And I had asked him only for a local wrestler in Albuquerque named Gino Told You So Rivera. I had only asked him to do that. And then from there, he kind of just, he was like, all right, cool. I want to join in. And I was like, all right, we'll go in on this and we'll see how far we can get it. The original idea that I pitched with my girlfriend Morgan was that we wanted to do only 50 episodes in 50 states, have a friend in each state, so that when we wanted to start traveling, we could go see if they're in a local show, and it'd be that kind of fun thing. And we've gotten closer to that, but it's gone into the point now where it's not just wrestlers, it's people in the music industry for professional wrestling, it's content creators, it's former well, I can't say that now because we haven't interviewed them, but now it's going to be former WWE talent. It's going to be talent that are making horror movies. It's talent that are doing all these amazing and wonderful things that normally the wrestling community wouldn't be like, oh, they're more than just professional wrestlers. And that's what we try to push the most, especially after we met with Gino. He kind of set the standard of, we don't ask what's your top 10. We don't ask who are your influences. We don't ask any of that, because that is for Q&As at signings. That's not for us. What we want to know is why Gino Rivera hates breakfast, why Montezi put XYZ in his lyrics, why Martin Casals never seems to sleep because his brain is going 25/8, coming up with new businesses and constantly growing. Brooke Havoc's cosplays ideas. Like, I could go on and on and on. And from there, we want to give that better feel. There are people like that we look up to, like the Chris Van Vliets, where he knows a lot more of their personal life. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not. Because what we're learning more is a lot of people don't want to bring in their personal life, but then you have those ones that are okay with it, and we'll go, okay, cool, we'll talk about this. Or even like the episode with the Reverend Ron Hunt, man, he basically took over that 45 minutes and he just made that a sermon, and a non-denominational one. He just had so much fun with it. I had fun with it. Chris had fun with it. Like, we were just motivated after that. And I follow every idea of content that I come up with is based off certain content creators that I look at, but I don't try to copy what they do, but I see, okay, they have this formula and now they're successful here. And it's not millions of subscribers and millions of dollars. It's, they have a live tour with their podcast. Mm-hmm. They're going to like comedy clubs and bars and they're doing this. And I was like, man, it would be so cool to do like Downtime in the Ring an hour before the show, like before whatever main card, and us be the pre-show, and us get to just interview main eventer, this, that, the other, owner, this, that, and the other, and do it on inside the ring would be preferable, and have the crowd be around and be like, oh my god. And that's essentially what we're trying to get to. And working in a state that is barely starting to hit their stride with professional wrestling, dude, this is where we are. We have so many ideas that we're ready for, and so many ideas that once things start getting into gear, it goes from there. But yeah, I rambled on a little bit, but those are my thoughts.
No, it's great. So one of the things that really struck me about Downtime in the Ring between you and Chris and whoever you're interviewing at the time. You really want to get to know them as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they're wrestlers, but you really want to get to know them as a person to see what drives them, uh, both professionally or personally, what has gotten them to this point in their career. And I find that extremely relatable because we're always looking to other people who have had success similar to what we're interested in. How did you get there? You know, what can I take away from this to help better myself? And you guys really get to the nut and bolts of that. And I really appreciate that. Another thing is the, I guess, the cast of characters that you've assembled for Downtime in the Ring, because it started off with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went you and Chris,
Mm-hmm.
and now you've kind of are branching out even more, and are bringing other people into the fold of Downtime in the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I'm one of those that now has a close, not only personal relationship, but a working relationship with Downtime in the Ring. But talk about that. Talk about what you look for in, say, some of the others that are now associated with Downtime in the Ring. They have their own podcasts or Instagrams or YouTube channels, but now that they're associated, what are you looking for a contributor?
So basically, I look for somebody that is like me, somebody that can take the criticism, somebody that's like, okay, cool, you know what, that segment really wasn't that good, because I've been making content since I think a year after I met you, so almost 5-6 years, but nothing ever struck until I sat down, and even the first little bit of doing Downtime in the Ring by myself, and I was like, I'm just going to dedicate everything I have to this, and it's going to work. And that's what I look for in people, is people who are willing to go, maybe like the 2.5 heels, like Brie and Unk. At first they were a little hesitant. They were like, we're guests and we're your friends, but we'll join. And I was like, okay, but you got to rep us. You got to rep Downtime in the Ring. Like that's the whole point, because at the end of the day, if we eat, y'all eat. And it wasn't until I think we built that trust a little bit more is when they announced, hey, we are part of Downtime in the Ring. We are officially part of their team. And then it went into me willing to go, okay, cool. You know what? We have a person coming in that's from y'all's area. And we didn't get to do the interview because personal reasons with said interviewee that we're looking to reschedule. But I was like, Unk, do you want a shot at do you want to call up? Do you want to come and be a part of this interview? And that's what I'm willing to do. I have had people block me. I've had people not talk to me anymore because it's like, oh, okay, cool. You're going to have, XYZ on, like Marcus D'Angelo. Oh my God. Such a cool guy, does podcasts with Jim Duggan, Jake the Snake Roberts, the $1 Million Man. Like coolest dude in the world. But I'm not willing to go, oh yeah, you're my buddy, so you've never done this before and you don't really care too much about my image. Hey, I'll bring you on. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to trust somebody that just wants to do a one-off or wants to mark out or wants to do any of that. No, because why did I have to go through all the work for other people to get that benefit? But now if you're putting in the work, you're sharing everything, you are actively even giving me ideas. So I'll take ideas. I don't really care. If people are putting in the work and I can see it and I'm like, okay, cool. I definitely want to keep them around. They're definitely somebody that can help a lot. Then yeah, of course. And there have been days like yesterday or like for Backlash where we didn't have Bree and Unk, but we had Bree. And there are some days where we just have Unk. There's some days where we have all six of us. There are some days where now we're having other people come in from a partner company and come and just help us out as much as we can. So that's what I look for. I look for the drive. I look for the hustle. I look for the fact that you actually care about content and you're not just doing this just to get a good memory or a, hey, I did this. I got to meet this person, because at the end of the day, I don't really care who you meet. I care if everybody's happy. And like Chris will mention it more than I will. He'll be like, "Man, we met Zilla Fatu," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. Who's next?" Like,
Right.
That's great. That's awesome. And I'm more of like I'm the business side of this, so I do more of the keeping up with everybody. Like I have tons and tons of people's numbers that nobody would ever imagine, and I keep up and I try to keep those relationships. That's from the mentor. That's from Montezi. He says, "Oh, relationships are what's going to drive this show." And so I look at that in, the people that we've gotten to, that, how friendly are they out of camera? Because you can be a face on camera, but if you're a heel in real life, I really don't care about, what you think you deserve. I care about who you are as a person. It really is like the kindness, the hustle, the creativity about this, and the willingness to be like, everybody's super busy. Everybody has lives. That's it. No matter how much you work, everybody is busy. But even these past 2 weeks, and Morgan's gotten very concerned, is because I'll go to bed and have like maybe 5 or 6 hours of good sleep, and that's from calls, that's from texts, that's from the fact that like this month alone is going to be not only interview heavy but female interview heavy, because we kind of branched off of that, and the ladies deserve just as much of a chance as the men do. So it's very interesting. And then still trying to get the lives done, still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the lives, keep up with all the pay-per-view schedules. And I won't ever be mad if Unk or Bree or Nikki go and say, "Hey, I just don't want to do this anymore. I still want to be y'all's friend, but I don't want to do this." I'm fine with that. That's great. That's awesome. I still want to keep them around, but it's always going to be that hustle, that willingness to find the extra minutes and go, "Okay, cool. I have 15 minutes available. What can I do?" And like that's me. Okay, I got 5 minutes available. Let's see who's on Twitter that I haven't talked to already, or I haven't annoyed already. And from there, that's how we got interview coming out probably in June. Emma Diaz, she just got released from NXT, but she just got announced for the Reality of Wrestling event that's going to happen here soon. So I was like, I want her thoughts, because everybody wants to get the people that are like in WWE, but I'm like, NXT, that still counts. Like no matter what, that's still something that I won't achieve. Oh, yeah. So I mean, like that's my process. Is you got to have the hustle, you got to have the willingness to make time, and you just got to have the character to do it. That's it.
Right. Yeah, and I think you and I are a lot alike in that. I'll be sitting at work, and I know that I was taking a break from doing some of my drawings, and I was like, man, I really want to help out, and I really want to switch gears from what I was doing as far as just the pop culture stuff and get more in depth. And it's like, but what can I do? How can I change things up? And so I started sketching. And came up with the name of Running the Ropes, and that people who are in wrestling know what running the ropes is.
Yes.
Those that are not sure what running the ropes is, I even drew out my logo, which will appear at some point. Is somebody running the ropes, and sitting at my desk, I'm thinking, oh, I could do this, I could do that, and I would text you and say, hey, what about this? And how about this for a logo? And our minds are constantly working on how we can get better and who we can reach out to, what will make it not necessarily names for ourselves in this podcasting business, but how can we have fun doing it? Because that's the important thing is trying to enjoy ourselves. Otherwise, you get burnout. You get burnout really quickly. So if you're having fun with it, that lessens the burden. And so, and I really think that we have a great group here with throwing ideas out and then people getting back to us. Oh yeah, that's great. Or, oh yeah, I can't make this one, but I'll be on the next one. Mm-hmm. You guys have a great show. There's so much encouragement. It's already a great bond that we have, and it showed. And not only that, within our group, you've already attracted sponsors for Downtime in the Ring.
Yeah.
So I know of 2, 3 that we that you have. We have TZ's Table. And then we have, I think there's another one, and then the big one, WSN.
Yeah.
So if you talk a little bit, what about so TZ's Tables? What is that, and how does that fit into Downtime in the Ring?
So that was a shot in the dark how that happened. Sammy Guevara had a match with Chris Jericho at Arthur Ashe last year, and he had a live entrance featuring a rapper that's going by the name of, or an artist, he deserves his flower, an artist, by the name of Montezzi. Me and Morgan were watching, and she goes, get him. And I was like, there ain't no way I'm going to get Montezzi. Like, there's no way. I don't know anything about him. I have no idea who he is. I don't know. And she was like, try. So a few days go by, and I'm friends with Sammy, or I liked Sammy Guevara's fan page on Facebook. And he goes, shout out to Montezzi. And I go, damn it, babe. Okay. So I go and I message Montezzi. And I'm like, hey, this is our podcast. We are not that big. Obviously, doing research on you don't have to agree to do this. Like, it's okay. So he agrees to come on the show, and we have fun on the show, or he agrees to come on the show, and then we shoot it for like 3 weeks out. So I was like, hey, if you're only available that's cool. We would still love to have you regardless, because we're not losing that connection right there. We will work around it. I will call in if I have to get that interview. And so he's like, okay. And then like a week goes by, and he goes, y'all don't have a theme song. And I was like, no, we don't have a theme song. And he goes, let's make one. And I was like, all right. And he gave me his prices and all this, and I was like, let's do it. And from there, he made the announcement himself on our show that he was making our thing. And then from after that, I thought, I was personally like, okay, we'll probably never cross paths again, or we'll only cross paths like if we ever get lucky enough to go to a show or something like that. And then from there, I would ask him questions. He'd give me honest feedback. And then it just turned into more of like a friendship. And then I call him my mentor. And he'll be like, I'm giving you mentor advice. This isn't friend advice. This is mentor advice. Take it this way instead of this way. And I go, yes, sir. Okay, cool. And now there's like a part of me that's like, I can't imagine him not getting a part of our success when that happens, because he's helped me more than probably most could ever think of. And so that's why we're like partnered with TZ's Table. Basically, we're the sponsor for him, um, and he helps us in so many amazing ways. But like there are days where I'm like, I wonder how he's doing. So I'll text him, and it won't even be about wrestling. It'll just be mental health checks, making sure that he's good, he's making sure I'm good. And there's some cool things that I've gotten to learn. There's some cool things I've gotten to be told about, and there's some amazing experiences that downtime in the ring can all get together once we start getting to where I see that we're all ready, which is funny because I'm like, I think I am the youngest of the group, but I'm also the dude that's like, yeah, we're all not ready for this. And it's funny. It's just like, I'm like, we'll get the opportunities waiting. It's just not, I don't think we're ready, or I don't think that we're there. And that's not saying like I'm in charge. It's just the fact that I'm like, I can see how everybody interacts, and I'm like, yeah, we're not ready. We're not there yet. Once the synergy's there, it's cool. But yeah, like TZ's Table, that's how that came to be. And that's how that will continue to be until he gets tired of me or I get tired of him. And I don't think that's going to happen on either side. But
Yeah.
over to tag me in. So hashtag tag me in is right now what we're trying to do is see how we can make this a non-profit mental health organization. Me and Paragon. So that is a former guest that we have now. He made Morgan cry the other day. He called me fam. He said I'm fam now. So he was like, Morgan was crying. He was like, oh my God. But that's where me and him have a lot of love for mental health, and we both have had our struggles. Everybody's had their struggles, and we want to make sure that people don't have to be it alone. So when I say use the hashtag tag me in, message me, do any of that, it's because I genuinely mean that. It's not something that it's like, oh, I'll message you back in like 3 hours. No, I have my phone on me 24/7. So I always answer as quickly as I possibly can. And they're, especially in the world of professional wrestling, whether you're a fan, whether you're the guy who holds the lights, whether you're the in-ring talent, or you are the booker, there are just some things that you cannot handle to a point. And I understand that, whether it's trying to find, the gas money to go to a show and you just feel like you're done, or the fact that if you want to vent, like, man, I've busted my ass and I'm still on the pre-show, or the venue is throwing a fit now and XYZ can't happen at this show, or something like that. Like, everybody has their momentum, because when your money isn't right, your mental health isn't right. When your health isn't right, obviously your mental health isn't right. And when you get hit with anxiety, you just aren't right. And there's more to it that people don't understand and that we need to discuss. And then, so that's why me and Paragon are trying to make hashtag tag me in bigger than what we could ever imagine, because we want to help people. And I'll go to the sponsor, the official podcast. We are the official podcast of the Wrestling Society Network app. So what is the Wrestling Society Network app? So CEO Brady Owens created the Wrestling Society Network app. And so what it is essentially, he wants this service to be able to stream indie companies. He wants it to be his 2K company. He wants, obviously he wants us, because we're the official podcast. The mind that this man has for what WSN will be is amazing. But what it is right now, it's a streaming service that you guys can find on Roku, Apple TV and Amazon Fire Stick. And it has so much original and unique and wonderful contents, from a wrestling reality show to the fact that, right now we're talking to a couple of indie promotions trying to get their archived footage so that we can have it on there, and the whole, just trying to push wrestling as much as we can. It's a crazy opportunity that nobody in any of our right minds ever thought it could happen. And it was a lot of wondering at this point, like, what's going to happen? What is this offer? And I'm blessed. I'm thankful for Brady for reaching out. He did reach out first. He was like, I love the show. Do you have more episodes? And so I sent him 5 episodes. And then from there is when I had the meeting. And I was like, oh, I have no idea what this is going to be. Like, I'm sitting here at my desk. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be bad? Is this going to, I don't know what this is going to be. Is it going to just be 5 minutes of, hey, thank you for joining our program, share it. And then from there, they were like, no, we want you to be the official podcast. And what the crazy part is the amount of podcasts that have reached out to them, that have more followers, have had more episodes, have had this, that, and the other, but they aren't on our level, which is weird for me to hear, because I'm like, we're just 2 dudes from New Mexico and now we've grown into 6 people from different parts of the country that are all just nerds about wrestling. Like, there's what standard do we bring here? Like, we're not the Avengers. We're the Avengers, like, D team at this point. But they've said, like, the music hits. When the music hits, people pop. The flow of the interviews, the fact that we try to find, we try to get people to relate to wrestlers, makes me cry sometimes. I love hearing that, because I definitely have spent this last year grinding my butt off trying to get this thing going. So yeah, those are our 3 partnerships as of right now. We're trying to look for a 4th, because the way that the background is fitting, I don't like that it has an empty hole. I keep saying I want my next Infinity Stone, so right. I want the last one.
So I'm going to bring up a couple of things in there. Even in our Discord, we have a hashtag tag me in section.
Yes.
And the way that we reach out to those, even in our Discord, it's utilized often.
Yeah.
And whether it's one of us using it or somebody else that's in the channel that's using it, just to reach out, even if it's just a sense of, hey, I'm contemplating making this move. I don't know. Am I good enough to do it? Or, hey, I'm really struggling in this area. I really don't know what to do. And we all flock to the channel and support each other. And for that to be able to go nationally or globally is going to be amazing once that happens. And it will happen. It will happen, because there's such a need for it that we cannot do this on our own. And when we have other like-minded people that actually care about us as far as people, and not just what we can bring to the table, that support, it grows like wildfire, and it's amazing to see that work. So again, thank you for that. And Paragon, absolutely amazing work. I know it's going to succeed. And then as far as WSN, there's so much programming that's on there. And not only that, I know that when I first started, you brought it up, and so I was like, "Oh, let me go see what this is," and went and checked it out. And there was a poll of, hey, what do you want to see?
Hmm.
X, Y, or Z, and uh, it was almost unanimous that hey, we want to see Z.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, what's on there next? A whole bunch of content related to option
Yeah.
Z, and it was fantastic. And I've watched almost all of it now, and yeah, it's so well done. And there's something on there for everyone. Whether you're a gamer and you really get into the 2K wrestling series, it's phenomenal the work that they've done with that, and I know that's going to explode. And I play 2K myself. We've done a bit of work on that previously for some older stuff, older content, and absolutely loved it. So I know that that's going to go well. Yeah, it's just an amazing group of people that are associated with that. I haven't quite met, probably not even a fraction of them. I know I've reached out to Brady. I know I've had, in the chats with Brady and Professor Bear and a few others, and just a great bunch of people to be around. Um, so, first, thank you again for talking about downtime in the ring and what brings us all together and the successes that you have had with that. And I know that we're just now scratching the surface. And yeah, there's going to be plenty of content to come. So everyone out there, make sure that you're subscribed to Downtime in the Ring. Make sure you're subscribed to Two and a Half Heels. Make sure you're subscribed to Running the Ropes and to Nikki D. I'm not sure I can't remember his channel. I don't know if I know he just has Nikki D.
It's
Uh,
Nikki D. Russes, Russass, I
Uh,
believe.
so there we go. So there we've blasted out Nikki, and I still feel bummed that when I was on vacation, I wasn't able to meet up with him. Uh, but I'll be going back up there soon, and we'll have time to reconnect up there, and hopefully we'll all be able to get together, maybe possibly some event in April of next year, should everything go according to schedule. But
It's
one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I think one of the reasons why you're having the success that you're having is not the only reason, but one of the reasons is the culture of wrestling now,
mhm.
not promotion based, because there's a lot of promotions that are out there.
Yeah.
But the fact that being a wrestling fan is finally, as The Rock would say, cool again.
Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
a time it is to be a fan. I mean, there's something for everyone.
Yes.
And
Which
yeah,
makes me want to cry because of how much these past couple of years I've been like wrestling is literally for everybody, and now we're hitting the point where people are. Quick little story. So I got to help out at the GCW
mhm.
debut in Albuquerque. We got to help out with that. And as I'm walking around, people are barely filing into the Dirty Bourbon, and these people are saying like, part of this group is saying like, oh, this is wrestling, this is this, and one of the guys goes, no, wrestling's cool again. and my heart, I wanted to mark out, but I was, I was staying professional. I was with my school. I was in uniform. I wasn't going to do anything, but to hear that wrestling is cool again, regardless wherever you are, is something that I'm like, finally. If nobody's going to listen to me, at least somebody will. At least they'll learn on their own that wrestling is something, and that's what I work so hard for, is for people to realize that we're in what Cody Rhodes is saying, the Renaissance era. We are in the more relatable side to it, and it gets me emotional because I'm like, yes, wrestling is fun again. You don't have to know 90 convoluted stories to just watch a guy get drop kicked into the corner and then roll out. Somebody goes up, coup de grace, pin, end it. Simple sequence. You don't need to know the story to understand it. The story helps, yes, but just enjoy the product.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and it's just weird, but even at church now, I get people that are saying, like after church or before church,
Yeah.
Dude, did you check out this, this episode? Or, hey, did you watch this, on this part of A, B, and C? And I'm like, wow, people at my church are talking about wrestling, and when they were just in El Paso. They were WWE was just in Rio Rancho, which is close for us ish, sort of. We live in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, but at least it's present. I know that you've gone to shows in El Paso.
Yes.
It's they've been to Hobbs or somewhere in West Texas. Lubbock is close, and I know, and I've seen these people online, and they're like, "Oh, this promotion only had 600,000 show up." That's 600,000 fans. Yeah, they might, or 6,000 people show up or whatever.
Yeah.
It might not be, sell out the arena, but there's a lot of people that are going to these events.
Yeah.
And they had this section blocked off. Well, yeah, there's a reason why they do that, and it's not because of not the ability to not sell seats. It's a television production. You have to be able to capture certain elements on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have cameras or flashlights or things that from certain camera perspective on a weekly show, that can mess up with the camera that is trying to show it on a TV screen. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that there's a stage that goes in, and that how much room that a Titantron actually takes up. It's so that, to me, almost that's ignorance. But yeah, there's are people that are selling or buying tickets to go to these events that we haven't seen in numbers since the mid 90s, when you had the big WWF versus WCW days.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, this one didn't sell out," but that's the fifth promotion that's come through in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to say it's burnout, but I mean, you have to. Those of us that are on a limited income, that can't afford to go to every show or every event, or we were talking about they just announced WrestleMania for Vegas for next April. All right, well, let's see. Then you have the 2 nights of WrestleMania. You have the Hall of Fame if you want to do that. They have the Raw. You have the SmackDown Go Home that's there. Plus all the other tickets for the WWE experience and things like that you have. It's not a thing anymore of, hey, we're just going to go pop down to this event and it's going to cost us, 20-30 bucks to get in. And we'll have decent seats. No, it's actually an investment, and people can't always afford to pay for the fifth one that comes through and go and see it. So you have to kind of pick and choose on what it is. But when you look at the television ratings and you see that people are tuning in, you look at the online watches of the video clips of this Midwestern indie show, and people are just flocking to the internet to watch it because they weren't able to go there and see it live. It's absolutely amazing. And the product is getting better.
Yes, yes, yes. I will agree to that. And one thing that you said too. So on a recent episode of DTITR, which I won't talk too much about because something happened. The person that we interviewed actually got to say that one of the coolest things about being able to work on GCW was the fact that he had a lot of family that have never watched him wrestle, that haven't been able to, come and travel to Arizona, to Las Vegas, to New Mexico, to Utah, to insert local state here. And so that is something, like something that you said, people care about ratings. I don't work in TV. Chris makes commercials. That's as close as he works in TV. And I yell at him too. I'm like, neither of us work in TV. Neither of us need to care about ratings at all, because at this point, who gives a shit? We can't control it. We're just going to watch it. That's it. But yeah, a little tidbit to what you said, like just the ability to be able to watch somebody that you care about in a different state, and the fact that the product is good, the fact that it deserves to be, the $20-$30 that GCW charges, or the $7.99 if you are a Triller TV Plus member per month, to be able to watch all the GCW stuff. Shout out GCW, I love them.
But yeah, I mean, and again, it's, if you like promotions that thrive on storylines, it's out there. If you like promotions that thrive on just excellent wrestling, it's out there. If you like to watch lucha style, it's out there. You can watch it. If whatever, if you're like, I prefer, like older people like me that remember territories, I remember this territory, I really liked it because of this. You know what? There's going to be a local show that's going to be out there. Go check them out. Go support them, because those people are trying to make a living just as much as we are. And that's probably their part-time job, because they love it so much, and they have another 9-to-5 job that they do, and they train at nights and on the weekends and whatnot. So yeah, and it's really, and you mentioned this, and we're going to get into this in just a second. The local industries of wrestling, I think, are really picking up. The pool of talent is growing, and that's amazing. I know when I was a kid, I had dreams of being a wrestler. One, I grew up in New England, not too far from Stamford.
Yeah.
And, house shows were there all the time. They didn't have the traveling PLEs like they do now, but didn't take much to get down to Madison Square Garden to go see a match. They were up in Providence all the time to wrestle. You had the 80s cartoon rock and wrestling, show that was out there. There was just, it was in that area. And it was just fantastic growing up like that. And, I am not a physical specimen by any stretch of the imagination. So this is as close as I can get to the ring. My body is old and frail. I've done indie wrestling in the past and loved it, but it just I couldn't stick with it. And it's just amazing to see the groundswell beginning again. Uh, and that leads me to where we live now in New Mexico. Talk briefly, if you can, about the indie wrestling movement in New Mexico. What have you seen there?
Oh, I will not be brief on this at all. So,
Oh, go for it then. I got time.
um, so New Mexico really hadn't had any promotion, anything worthwhile, other than DWO, Destiny Wrestling Organization, I believe is what it was called. One of the people that were a part of it, um, or that came through, was Kazarni, if you remember him in
Hmm.
WWE, or Crazy Mary Dobson, who ends up becoming Sarah Logan, who ends up
Yeah.
becoming Valhalla. We're just a couple of the names that have come through. But overall, now it's turning into the point where, and I have to go back and give, just look in the mirror. We actually are known, DTITR is actually known by a couple of the promotions out there, which is crazy to me because I didn't even think that would happen. They know who we are. They've given me my flowers for the way that I've grinded and pushed this business to go to. You have company, you have schools, you have more schools popping up it seems like every 6 months now, because I'm with OTR, which is led by Gino Rivera. If you guys are wondering, what kids he's trained, you have seen a woman by the name of Gypsy Mac compete on AEW Dark Elevation against a Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena, in her early run. A gentleman by the name of Dante King, who competed on TNA's first ever reboot back of Explosion. He just did that, which was amazing to see. Gino himself has been in every company in some facet, whether it be a photographer, whether it be backstage, whether he was hyping up the New Day as they were getting roasted in the infamous roast battle in Phoenix, Arizona against the Usos. And that's just OTR. That does not include for Prime Wrestling, which is a new company that is coming out, and they are hitting the ground running. One of my best friends actually trains with them, Ricky Aguila. He is set to make his debut sometime soon, and when he does, I'm going to pop no matter what. DCCW, which is Duke City Championship Wrestling, is the main promotion there as of right now. They do weekly shows. They have a young wrestler in there by the name of, Tommy Two Scoops Test, which is a great guy. Love him. He's awesome. He's one of the is a Las Vegas, New Mexico boy. Came from a small town, went to Phoenix, trained there, came back, has now wrestled in Albuquerque, is hitting his stride in the California area right now. But that's what we want for New Mexico wrestling. And obviously the one promotion that I've been trying to help the most, Phase One Pro, which is going to have their second show here next month, June 1st, which DTITR crew is expected to go and help as many as we can, which is that's kind of cool. They're like ready for us. They want us to help, which is one of the coolest things that we could do. The way that Albuquerque wrestling has turned into, it's no longer waiting for the Rio Rancho and Las Cruces show in WWE to come by and hope that you get a ticket to go and watch it. Now it's wrestling every month for sure, maybe 2 or 3 companies within every other month. Like it's insane. It honestly is. And the amount of talent that is there, and the amount of coaches that are pushing their kids to, yes, perform in Albuquerque if you can, but also go out, go do amazing things, go to Texas, go to Utah. And, there's a couple of people that I'm like, trust me, talk to this promoter here in Kentucky, or talk to this promoter here in Ohio, or somebody, people that I have interviewed. I'm like, hey, dude, New Mexico's trying to grow. Let it help us out, and I can promise you won't regret it. And it hits me tough, because I'm like, we finally got it. 26, damn it, we finally got good wrestling consistently here in New Mexico.
Yeah, so it's a great feeling, and it's great that that you're a part of it, and I know there's that popular phrase, finger on the pulse, and you definitely have supplied that for wrestling in New Mexico and beyond. I know that there's not a place that you won't go for a story or an interview or whichever, a promotion. All they have to do, say is ask and say, you know what, hey, can you do this? And I know you, and you will find a way to make it happen. You're that dedicated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, and this is not going to be the last time that that we see Donovan on the show. Again, we are one of 6 now, and we're always going to help each other out. I think for running the ropes, I'm still kind of working and tweaking the format a little bit. We will talk about, as my intro showed, just a general weekly wrap up between the TV promotions. We'll do, if there's special events, PLE or a draft, or just something that's out of the normal, we'll cover that as well. Predictions will probably be all together for our prediction shows. And we'll be able to put them on our each on our own channels as well. So that's going to be amazing. I'm just glad that we're getting the growth and the recognition. So yeah, make sure everybody, please subscribe to Downtime in the Ring. I'll include the link in the comments. And I'll have all of our shows listed in there as well as the WSN, the Wrestling Society Network. We'll make sure that we plug them as well. But yeah, any final thoughts before we cut it out for today?
I am happy that you have a show again. I really am. I'm very excited that you have a show again. If you guys know any wrestlers that are worried about doing interviews, shoot them my way. If you know any companies that are wanting to promote more, shoot them my way. Basically, if you know wrestling, just shoot it my way at this point. Can't guarantee that any interviews are going to be done within this month or June, because we're trying to stack up, and we are starting to stack up, but we want to help you guys as much as we possibly can. And if that's sharing a flyer because somebody doesn't want to, that's, in your promotion or anything like that, shoot it my way. I'll share it. I'll make sure everybody shares it. Overall, I just want everybody to enjoy wrestling, because wrestling has done so much for me, and it deserves this love. And also, if you are another business that wants to partner up and or sponsor, please hit me up at downtimeinthering@gmail.com, because I'm trying to fill that last spot, because now it looks like somebody said it looks like an Infinity Stone gauntlet, and now that's the only reason why I want to do it, is because I need that last one. That's it. But we'll push your stuff. I promise.
Absolutely, man. It's you've helped me out on a lot of different podcasts that I've had, and I've come a long way. I've been doing podcasting for the last 4 years now, doing just whether it's Star Wars related, whether it's pop culture related, movie reviews, Yesterday was a huge day with our 501st stuff, being May the 4th. We are recording this on Sunday, and it will be out on Tuesday. So in case anybody was wondering, but he said anyway, so I knew that a partnership with you would be amazing. So one, thank you for all your support, all your encouragement. And folks, if you're looking for a place and you like Discord, where you can talk about wrestling or life or whatever, join our Discord. I'll have that also in our show notes down below. It's a great time. Don't forget #tag me in. Super, super important. We all need it at certain points. So don't be afraid to use it if you need to. No judgments, no nothing. Just people here to help. #tag me in. So with that, man, I think that's it for this edition. Again, it'll be out on Tuesday, and we're gonna have a great time. It's new era going forward.
It's gonna be fun. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, until next time, folks, we'll see you. This is Running the Ropes.